In response to a string of hateful incidents against select populations, both nationally and in Jacksonville, Florida, the First Coast YMCA and Jewish Community Alliance are partnering to combat those incidents and educate communities to develop a better understanding of diverse groups and the challenges they face. We're happy to have Adam Chaskin and Eleanor Blair here from these organizations to share more. Thank you to both of you. Adam, how did this initiative begin and what issues have you addressed through this series?
Well, thank you. Thank you much for having us today. And this all started back in the fall of 2022 at the Florida-Georgia football game that's held every year here in Jacksonville, Florida, when there were some hateful anti-Semitic displays on the outside of the stadium and some local buildings in Jacksonville. Eric Mann, the CEO of the YMCA, and I got together shortly after that and decided that we needed to do something together to help the entire community to fight the hate that was present in our community. We brought together our staffs that were far more talented at the programming aspects of this, and they put together an incredible series that's been going on now for the last 6 months, where we've addressed various forms of hate and how to overcome those obstacles and stereotypes that are out there.
And Eleanor, how is the community reacting to these events?
We've had about 100 attendees per session that we've held, and I think the best thing about it is we've provided a safe space for learning. And the reactions from the attendees are they're having those important conversations, things that they're learning and willing to hear from someone else in their own personal communities. So sharing that and trying to bridge build across their own communities is very important to us, and has been well received.
Wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. What advice would you give to communities across the country who may be considering a partnership like this?
Well, I think the first thing is egos have to be put aside and realize what the better good is for the community. Most communities have, whether they have Ys or Js or other great nonprofits that deal in this space. And as long as they're not worried about who's getting the credit, and our goal is to overcome hate and educate people to break down those barriers, I think it's very achievable in every community in this country.
And I would add to that, knowing your community footprint, what issues your community is facing, and be willing to partner with folks in your community to bring those to light.
Absolutely. Are there any things that have worked for you guys that maybe someone that's listening might say, aha, we might want to do that?
Well, I think the openness that in our community, that not just Eric and I, but many of the CEOs of the various nonprofits have here to work together for the common good has been very critical. And so getting people to really understand what the mission is, which in our case for Together Against Hate is to overcome the stereotypes that are out there and the misnomers for why people have the various forms of hate, by educating people. And it's been eagerly received by organizations that want to participate.
Yeah, and I think, our work is not done. We've been doing this for 6 months, but we definitely plan to continue. And for the last 6 months, we've had different partners in the community who've come to us and said, how can we be part of this? How can we address more issues? How can we create more conversations that are important for us to have?
Well, it sounds like you guys are doing an amazing job. Adam and Eleanor, thank you again so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.